It's going to be a busy day today, but thankless. A busy but thankless day. Not that I need thanks for my day, but you know, there are days when you do things and you feel like you've got something done, and then there are days when you do things and you probably just don't feel like you've accomplished anything. And I have a feeling today will be the latter. Predominantly because today and tomorrow are the days that I really need to get myself organized for the trip to Taiwan. I'm not going to really have a lot of time on Monday and Tuesday, so, and there'll be none at all on Wednesday. I've got to get everything organized. That involves packing, but not packing the things I need to have Monday and Tuesday, and then not forgetting those things that I needed on Monday and Tuesday to go in the packing. I have some errands to run. I have, to make arrangements to deal with the house. I've got to install the new internal security camera system. I should, come to think of it, I should start my wife's car and make sure that it's still working. Ooh, hummingbirds have no feed. Should give them hummingbird feed. And as I mentioned, I think yesterday or the day before, I expected to go swimming this weekend, and let's take a look at the pool. Well, as I anticipated, it is clean. The bottom's clean. There's a couple spots on the side that could use a manual vacuum, but it's clean. Although the water is a bit cloudy. Now the reason it's a bit cloudy is because of all the dead stuff that hasn't been filtered out yet. So I've got the filters running, and there's quite a bit of algicide in there, which is what's causing that little foaming on the top of the water. But I would say another 12 hours of filtration and this water will probably be clear and ready for swimming tomorrow, so I will get my swim tomorrow. Now the cloudy is not actually a problem. It's just, people just don't like to see it. But it's really, it's not a green cloudy. It's just suspended particles in the water. I'm a little more concerned about the foaming algicide. Usually that you subside that before you go swimming, but hopefully in a few hours. Let's talk just a little bit about the actual trip to Taiwan. Oh, I've talked about the flight. The flight is a nightmare, and I enjoy going to Taiwan. We don't get to go there during the best time of year. July is just, well, it's their school summer starts about July 1, so that means the families are on vacation at this time, which means all the touristy spots are packed. That's bad for us. It also means that it's 90 degrees, 90% humidity, and coming in on the tail end of that might be hurricane season, or in their case, typhoon season. My wife's family live in Taipei, which is both the capital and the most populous city. It's in the northern part of Taiwan. Taiwan straddles the Tropic of Cancer, so the lower part of the island are technically in the tropics, which means that is the Tropic of Cancer is the line, the furthest north line where the sun can be directly overhead. If that makes sense. So the tropics span from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn, and at some point during the course of the year, the sun will be directly overhead. So this makes for different sunset. That's all I can say. It's like the sun goes down remarkably fast in Taiwan, even in Taipei, which is out of the tropics, but it's not that far out of the tropics. It's hot and it's humid, and their home is of the old style, which means it doesn't really have a lot of the modern conveniences. They have an air conditioning in one or two of the rooms. They have single room air conditioners, but it's an endurance, particularly if you're not used to it. And everyone here in Arizona is used to having air conditioning because you would die without it. So doing without it is a bit of a chore. So in addition to Taipei, which we can talk more about later, I'm also going to be taking a couple of trips within Taiwan just to get out of Taipei. We're going to be going to a place called the Shito Bamboo Forest. I've been there before. I really enjoyed this place. There's a lot of Taiwan is mountainous. Most of Taiwan is mountainous. And when I say mountainous, I mean mountainous. Like this. Ridiculously steep mountains. And, you know, stuff's just hacked out of the side to get into it. Even in Taipei, there's bits of places like that. So, Shito Bamboo Forest, which is up in the mountains, is remarkable in that it is in this lovely, flat, I want to call it a meadow, but it's, you know, pine trees and grasses and flowers, and it's lovely. And there's a 7-Eleven, which is key to my survival at times. And then we're going to, I can't remember the name. It's not far away from Shito Bamboo Forest. I've been there as well, and it's also a little higher in the mountains. It's a bit more mountainous, but it's still pretty level and a nice place for hiking. So we're going to spend about 3 days out on that trip, and then we're also going to spend 2 or 3 days at the sheep place, and have also been to the sheep place before. This is another touristy spot in the mountains, different part of the mountains, and they raise sheep there. So they have the sheep farm, and it's kind of bizarre that a sheep farm is a sort of a touristy area, but there you go. And we quite enjoyed that the last time we were there too. It also has a 7-Eleven conveniently handy, which makes it important for my survival, which you will learn about when we are on the trip to Taiwan, why 7-Eleven keeps me alive. Think ramen noodles. Anyway, one of the cool things about the sheep place, which and I can't think of its name either, but I call it Sheepshan, shan being mountain and sheep being sheep, which is not the correct word in Chinese, which is Yan. But that's not the name of the place. Yanshan is not the name of the place. But Sheepshan is the name of the place in my mind because of, yes, Shaun the sheep. Sheepshan, it's... Okay. It amuses me. That's all that matters. Anyway, the cool thing about Sheepshan is there is a place where you can go to where you have to remember these mountains, right? Like this. There is a ridge line. And I mean a proper ridge line, not like it came to the ridge and you went over. I mean, this is one that stretches for quite a long ways. And I can't say I've ever seen anything like it in Arizona, where you come to a ridge line and it's actually the whole mountain ridge along it. And you can stand at a point and you can look down this side for a long, long way, and you can look down that side for a long, long way. And last time we were there, I did not have adequate photography gear to capture that feeling, that picture, to show you that you are really standing between one long fall and another fall. It's more of a tumble because it's like that, and it might have fences on it, but it was quite cool. And so again, we're getting out of Taipei. We're going to take the high-speed train. That's a 300 km/h train they have that runs from the north and south of Taiwan, which I always enjoy. I'm not really a train nut, but high-speed trains I would use. So keep that in mind, politicians in Arizona. We need a high-speed train, Phoenix to Tucson. And who knows, I might actually be able to get out of this city and move somewhere nice. Well, neither here nor there. On with the day's nonsense. If you're a tall person and you're making purchasing decisions, never make your purchases on the assumption that short people will do the work that the short people should do. Now, that's not a disparaging remark against short people. That's just a fact. I'm not saying they're not doing their work, but the fact is, today they're not doing their work because there are no short people here. And so I am doing my laundry, which is fine. It's my laundry, and I can do my laundry. But when we bought these matching washer and dryer from Samsung that make great washers and dryers, not phones, but washers and dryers, we had a choice. We could either buy these washers and dryers, or we could buy them with another $200 extension on the bottom that raised them up about that much higher off the ground. And we looked at the family and we said, well, Chuan's short, and Michelle's just a little girl, and James is just a baby, and they'll be short for a long time. And so they can do all the laundry. And I won't have to do the laundry because bending over to use these really hurts my back. But here we are today, no short people in the house, and my laundry has to get done. And I've hurt my back. And therein lies the lesson to this tale. Buy the extension for them. It's time to mount the new security camera. Ha-ha! There I am. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. A span of the room all the way from the front door through to the kitchen. You cannot enter this room without being seen on camera. And basically, this is the central room of the house. So, anyone intruding is going to be seen. The sun is inconveniently placed behind me. That's why my hand is hiding it. So that you don't have to have the sun glare in your eyes like that. Anyway, I love a good opportunity to be an asshole to somebody who deserves it. And, you know, I try not to be, but every once in a while you just can't not let go. And I pulled into the mall. I had to get my the ghost armor on the back of my phone changed because it's not holding up. It's warranted for lifetime, so every once in a while you go in, you spend $10 and you have them replace it. I'm sure that that's built into their plan, and that the ghost armor probably only costs them about 4.5 cents, and so the whole thing is just pure profit. But anyway, I like having the ghost armor on there, and the periodic replacements are just part of the pain of having it. So I had that done. Of course, that leaves me without my phone, so I got no footage of that. But I pulled into the mall. I thought, well, I'm going to try to spend a little more time grabbing shots of where I'm going, so it's not just me talking like this. And so I'm shooting this footage, which, you know, this footage right here, and it's particularly boring. And then some smartass who happened to be walking by decided to comment on my choice of taking videos, which, you know, it takes it takes an incredible lack of self-consciousness, or a complete and utter well, you just have to be a complete and utter ass at every level to feel like anybody gives a crap about your opinion in that context. So after having made his comment, I turned on him and I said, "Oh, I am sorry. In Uzbekistan, where I am from, we do not have such magnificent shopping malls like you in America do. It is most amazing, and I wish to show to my family back home." and it shut him up pronto. And the funny part is, I think he bought it. I think the complete utter idiot bought it. That was, you know, that was a Mr. Chekhov accent there. I'm sorry. That was not a real Eastern European accent. I'm sorry. Anyway, do not mess with me with the assholeness, because I am a pro. A seasoned pro. Anyway, that made my trip to the mall worthwhile. When I came out of the mall, I turned on my phone and I got an emergency weather alert. So today has been a little unusual. I'm not sure what the high temperature was, but at a time when I would have expected it to be 104 or so, well, it's 108 now. So maybe it was hotter than I thought. But earlier in the day, it was cooler than I thought, in the high 90s. So that would have been pleasant, except when you stepped outside, it was 30% humidity. So it looks like we've got storms building up. A little early for the monsoons, but there's probably no rain danger. The weather alert that came on when I turned my phone back on was for dust storms, which is, you know, nature's thunderstorm without the cool part, the rain. Well, here comes the dust storm. We got quite the blow going here now. We're heading straight into it, too. Everything is blowing straight back at us. Ugh. You can see the dust over there. The storm is still brewing, and I've reached this vantage point where I can get a look back over the valley. You can just see how brown the sky is and the orangey sun behind it. It's cool looking if it weren't pure gunk I'm breathing. The wind speed is steady at 30 miles an hour with gusts much, much higher. It's really blowing. Anyway, I just blew away the pharmacist at the Walgreens. He did not know you could do Apple Pay on the watch, so that's the first time anybody saw that at their pharmacy, and he was amazed. I'm gonna have to go tell the manager. I didn't know you could do that. This is cool. Which is the correct response. I have to say, that is the correct response. It is cool. Well, I'm sitting in McDonald's. It's almost 10 o'clock. The power has gone out at the house and it's getting hot fast. So I've come here for some French fries, and they are fresh, and a soda and some air conditioning. Hopefully I won't have to wait too long. So here's a weird one. When I arrived at this McDonald's, there was nobody here. Well, there was like 2 people inside, but it was basically empty. And it appears that the power failure is not that big of an area around my house. It's maybe a couple blocks. So this isn't in that couple of blocks. And so therefore they have power and, more importantly, air conditioning. But when I'm leaving, there's at least 6 more cars, and in 4 of them there are people eating McDonald's. I mean, people were coming in and getting food. So a lot of people came to the McDonald's while I was there, and they got food, and they decided to go out and eat in their cars. I mean, seriously, McDonald's isn't that horrible. And it's still hot outside and dusty and windy. Why would you want to sit in your car with the windows open and eat your food? Unless you like the taste of dirt in your food, which if you're at McDonald's, perhaps you do. This power failure has messed up my whole evening. I didn't get the things done I needed to get done, so now I'm going to have to do them in the morning tomorrow. Hopefully, I still have enough time. Obviously, yeah. But, anyway. So I'm trying to figure out whether I should go to bed now. Well, obviously I could go to bed now. I can't go to bed earlier than now, but I'm trying to decide if I should go to bed now, which is approximately my normal bedtime. And here's the logic behind this. My flight takes off at about 6 p.m. from Los Angeles. Los Angeles is on the same time as here. So we take off for 6 p.m. It's a 14-hour flight. That means we will arrive at 8 a.m. my time. So that's basically the evening, all night, and time to get up in the morning. Now, I normally get up around 5:30, 5-ish, something like that. So that would still be 3 hours before flight time. So if I got a normal night's sleep, I went to bed at 11 o'clock, that means I would be 5 hours on the plane, awake, sleep my 6.5 hours, wake up, still have 3 more hours on the plane. And I'm just wondering if I should try to go to bed earlier and get myself in the habit of being in bed earlier so that I could, say, go to bed at 9:30 or 10 o'clock and fall asleep on the plane earlier, although I'm afraid I would wake up at 3:30 a.m., which is what tends to happen to me if I go to bed before my usual time. I just don't know. I don't know. I've never successfully beat the plane yet. You know, no matter what system I try to figure out how to get the maximum time of sleep on a plane, it's just never worked out right. I'm feeling defeated by this already, and I haven't even tried. Well, anyway, that's it for today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we only have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, it's travel day, and then we'll be in Taiwan.